Hi, my name is John Sosa. I am 29 from Fort Worth, Texas. I am currently 5'5" and 400 pounds. I believe everybody has a story. Everybody has a story to tell. Everybody you see on the street, everybody you work with, they all have a story. And my reasoning for wanting to be on The Biggest Loser is because I want to share mine. I think I have a lot to offer people, and I think it'll be beneficial and that people can relate to me in a variety of different ways. So I guess let's start with the reason why I got to the way I am. I Early on, my parents got a divorce when I was 5, and I didn't know how to cope with that. It was a really tough time in my life. Being so young, no one ever prepares you for that. You don't know how to act. You just do what you're told, and it was hard. I love my dad. I love my mom. And knowing that we wouldn't all be together, it took a toll on me. And I sought comfort in food. That's the only thing that really made me happy. Well, not necessarily happy, it's just I enjoyed it. I enjoyed sweets. I enjoyed mom's good home cooking. And I kind of enjoyed it a little bit too much at times. And even going back and forth, my dad moved to Austin, so going back and forth between my mom's and my dad's, that was kind of a way to ease the pain. We'd go get ice cream, or we'd go to McDonald's or some kind of fast food restaurant. We would just I guess that was our time to relax. It was our time to ease in, and because time would go by, and it was just kind of, like I said, it was a new thing. You don't know what you're going through until you go through it, and at that time, that's what helped get through it. It was hard growing up. I'm a very family person. Like I said before, I love my family, and I just struggled with it. I still struggle with it. Going to school I wasn't always a fan of school, but I have a twin brother, and so I didn't want to fall behind him. I felt like I had to keep up with him. Granted, I wasn't making the same grades as him. I was still, we were still neck and neck in the same grade. So I think I struggled the most throughout middle school and high school. I fell into a deep depression. I was insecure, and since I had, indulged in all those comfort foods, I was overweight. I've always been overweight. Ever since I was little, I don't know what it's like to be average weight. I really don't. And I think I finally hit a point to where I could be happy, was when I went and auditioned for choir at my senior year in high school. I had something to be proud of. People would be wouldn't be looking at me, they'd be listening to me. They would hear my voice, and it would trump anything that they saw. At least in my mind, that's the way it went. And during that year, I didn't know what was in store for me. I had gone to school with most of these people all my life, and I met my best friend. Her name was Amanda, and we just had a blast together. She made my last year of school the best ever. Now, granted, my grades weren't that great, but I had an outlet. I had somebody to talk to, and then we made future plans together. We wanted to both be in musical theater, and we were going to do it. So upon graduation, I took a break from school. So like I said, school wasn't my thing, and she continued on. But we still kept in touch. We were looking, at audition dates and for the local theater. We have a children's theater that does plays. They go through different seasons, and they always have open casting, and so we were going to do it. I didn't ever get that chance to do that with her. She passed away a year after we graduated. not even, actually just shy of a year. I had never, with the exception of my dad, but my dad's still alive, I had never lost anybody that close to me. She was my world. We had all these plans. She talked to me about getting married and how, she wanted to be married one day, and she had her kids' names picked out. And she never got that chance. And here I was alone. Just alone. I didn't know what to do because my plans were with her. I didn't plan for anything else. I didn't think this could happen to me. I didn't think that would happen to her. And it hit me. The depression came back. Probably as strong as it's ever been. And I would just cry myself to sleep. I missed her. Being lost and not knowing how to handle this situation, I kept in contact with the family, and they assured me that she would be with me every step of the way. They encouraged me to get into school. They encouraged me to still sing. They encouraged me to do theater and everything that she would have done. And she would have done with me. And they just said that she would still be with me. And that, that her spirit would live on, and that I just needed to keep her close to my heart. And any time that I had trouble, she'd be there. And so I decided to go to school. And it's crazy. I just, like I said, school was never my thing, but I made it my thing. I was on the A honor roll. I was on the dean's list. I got really involved in student activities. And by the time that I had ended my, career, you could say, at a community college level, I held, offices and student activities, and I'd also gotten a scholarship for an outstanding fine arts student. And it was just, things were great. Life was great. Life was good again. And so I decided to go to the University of Texas at Arlington, and I bought a new car, and I was moving out, and it was just, things were going great. I mean, I could feel it. I was finally headed in the right direction. Even though taking off all that time and, struggling with the depression, I was on the right path. And then a couple of months into being at the university, we were told that my brother had cancer. And I held out hope that he would come out of it, that he would get better. I spent some time at the hospital with him, and he just got worse and worse, eventually to where he couldn't even talk. But I still had hope. He was eventually put in the hospice, and they said he didn't have much longer to live, and I held on. I thought he would come out of it. Miracles happen every day, and I just thought for sure, no, he's too young. And I didn't want to accept the fact that I was going to lose somebody else important in my life. But I did. when he passed away, I had a series of regrets. I regret not spending more time with him. He'd even asked me to move in with him so I could save some money because we lived in the same city, and I didn't. You know, we were different people. He liked sports. I liked music. I liked theater. And it's just I wanted to live my life. I thought he'd always be there. So then I turned to alcohol. I went to clubs and bars, and I pretty much spent every night that I could just drinking away. I don't know how I even afforded to go out all the time, but I was there. I was always out. I would go to class hungover, and it was just, I got really bad. And a lot of people didn't know. My mom didn't know. My family didn't know. My old friends didn't know. I'd made plenty of new friends, and they knew. But that's how I dealt with things. I finally was able to not feel that hurt. It was my escape, and I guess just that's how I dealt. It eventually caused me to have to leave school. I never got the chance to finish school because of all the bad choices I made. And then just, it wasn't in the cards, I guess, for me to finish school. At least not yet. I got a job at a movie theater, and I made a lot of good people there. They helped me throughout the hard times, and they helped me. They never judged me. They always knew me better than I knew myself. They always knew everything. I didn't ever really have to say much, but they knew what I was going through, and they were always there every step of the way. And I eventually became a manager there, and I've been there for 8 years. And I'm finally accepting the fact that I'm overweight. Actually, I've accepted it a couple of months ago. I was at my heaviest. I got up to 464, and it was so bad that I couldn't even tie my shoes because it hurt. It hurt, and I would always had slip-on shoes because it was just easier. And I don't know, just over the years I packed on more and more weight, and I realized it. I knew it. I knew it was a problem. But it wasn't up until I had enough. I have a bunch of people in my life that helped me make it to where I'm at. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know where I'd be at. But that's a major reason why I want to lose weight, is so that I can spend the rest of my life with them. Because I knew if I went on the path that I was going, that this would eventually kill me. It's sad to say that I didn't realize it sooner. I guess I just got caught up in everything else around me, all the bad stuff, that I just didn't realize how much I wasn't doing myself any good. But so I decided at the beginning of this year to take charge of my life. Everybody makes these New Year resolutions, but I was like, this is not my resolution. This is my lifestyle change. So I started a YouTube diary of my journey to become fit. And within the first month, I just had just an overwhelming amount of support from family and friends, and even strangers had come across it and they encouraged me. And I lost 22 pounds. And then a local restaurant chain had a competition, or just basically a health quest, and I put in my application. They accepted me, and I lost another 44 pounds along with that competition. So today I'm at a total weight loss of 64 pounds. I'm proud of that. I'm very proud that I've lost that, but I have a long way to go. But I'm going to do it. And I jumped at the chance to audition for The Biggest Loser because I feel like this is something I need. This is something that could take my story to a whole new level. I think people will see what I've been through and how I handled everything. And granted, it wasn't the best way to handle things, but I made it. I lived through it. And I just want to be able to share my story with everyone. I want to make a difference. I think we're all put on this planet to make a difference. And I feel like me becoming the best version of me is the way to do it. I don't want to be overweight anymore. I want to go out with my friends, and I want to be able to not have to request a table every time. I'd like to sit in the booth. I'd like to do, marathons. I'd like to be a dancer that can be appreciated for their art instead of the way they looked. I want to be graceful. I want to look graceful. I want to be able to get up on the stage and share this talent I have with people by singing and not having to worry about the way I look. I want to get rid of these insecurities. I'm tired of being a prisoner of my own body. I want to free myself, and I think this will help me take that big step, that push. I think they'll give me that push that I need to become who I think I was destined to be.